Satnam and hello. I am so glad to have you here with me. Um, Empowered Energy Academy is something that came to me during this amazing time, right? So I decided to do this sitting in front of my altar. Just here, I'll get out of the way and you can actually just see my beautiful altar, which is my, not my only transformational place, but it's my morning. This is where I sit down every morning after I've done prayers to just connect all the wiring again, right? It's like during the day, there's so many things that happens to us all the time, every day. And this year, this time, and who knows if this year, it's going to be 1 year. It's like unplugging us from so many things. And we're getting a chance to really, should we choose, not just blame and shame others, but to really look at the shadow side of pretty well everything. Um, and in this isolation, this closing down, my question was, okay, I've had a way of serving in the world. And that way just went bam, like, and I was like, okay, so how can I serve? And over the years, I've created a lot of online programs. And what came to me was create an academy that people can come and be part of, that you can create a community, because that's really who we are, that longing to belong with and to each other, and to have a place where actually our community is that which can serve and uplift us. So I have a template, and it's like great toolkit, support, plus support to create great habits that will support and sustain you. Because every moment of the day, we are building either what we want or what we don't want. And we can make a list and say, this is what I desire and this is what I want, and still live over here, right? Having a community is one of the good things to hold you in accountability. Not this kind of accountability, like I can see you, I know, but accountability of like when you're having a challenge, being able to say that and be in this community that can give you, this is what I did when I felt like that. This is what I did when I did this. And when somebody else is having a hard time, you can share. Just so beautifully. One of the participants at the beginning of this call said, I just want to tell you how much your flip charts have meant to me. They're such a perfect thing. I can just walk over, open it up, look at it, and do that. One thing for like, a few minutes, and I reconnect to me. So what I ask is like, how can I serve at this point in time on the planet? How can I serve the most amount of people in the best way possible? And Empowered Energy Academy came to me because like my byline is the energy guru. And what that really means is not like, oh yeah, I've got my energy down. How fabulous, how wonderful am I? It means my mission is to make everyone their own energy guru, that you know how to change your energetic states. Should you choose, sometimes you need to be in that really dark, desolate place, that, the dark night of the soul. We need that. And other times, that it's just a pity party and you need to get out of it to have the clarity to see possible options that you may not have looked at, right? So that is my desire, that you have the tools to be able to shift your energy. You have the community to hold you when you're having challenges, and that you can share your wisdom with other people when they're having their challenges, or just in a conversation, so that you're building these muscles, right? These fabulous, empowered, energetic muscles, because energy is the source of everything. You know, have you ever felt like you're really down in energy and you don't have any energy and you just are inspired and you can't wait to create? No, they go together. When you have really good energy, you can be patient, you more connected, you can be, I was just on this very long it was I don't, it was within our organization, I want to say, and it's an aspect of just refining and reworking our organization, which also went through a brutal blow up this year. Um, and 4 hours on Zoom, and then coming right into this. So I got to change energetic states from listening and participating and doing that to being in this state of offering. So we get to do that a million times a day. Like we have our one hat here, we have our other hat here. You're in a relationship, and then you're dealing with your children, and then you're in your work situation, and then you need, time to deal with you, and then you have parents, or you have, friends, or whatever it is. There's all of these situations, your students, that are constantly drawing on our energy, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, all of those energetics. So when this idea of Empowered Energy Academy came to me, I honored it and I said, yes, because that is that's my life mission, is to really help people be empowered at your essence so that you can actually bring the light into the planet that you were meant to bring in, right? That's the deal. It's not that we don't have challenges. It's what we do with them. So a lot of you don't know much about my background, so I thought I would share a little bit about my background and what got me to where I am and how I've used these tools in some of the truly most challenging times of my life. So I grew up Irish Catholic, and I went to Mass every day until I was in college. And I'm not a recovering Catholic. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to Mass. I enjoyed singing. I love the smell of incense. I still burn incense in the morning. It transported me. I felt wonderful about it. In our church, even though I grew up in a very small town, we had a cathedral. I didn't know that every small town didn't have a cathedral, because they thought that our town, it was a French fort, was going to be the big port city. And it turned out that it was St. Louis, 60 miles up the river. We were on the Mississippi. So I loved the energetics of it. I loved prayer. I was telling a friend of mine at the beach the other day that I read Nancy Drew and the Lives of the Saints. I read, not Mother Teresa, but Teresa of Avila and Damien the Leper, and, books on Mary and Joseph and just different saints, Saints Christopher. And I had statues that were like, 3 feet high, lined up in my bedroom. That's what I spent my allowance on. I liked them. I felt the protection of the energetics, not the statue themselves, but the energetics of what they represented. And I couldn't have told you this in those words as a child, but I did tell my mother as a child, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to start my own order. Okay. And she looked at me like I was mad, but I knew that there were things that I liked about the church. But then I saw the nuns, they were really stressed out. And I went to, 3 different Catholic schools throughout my 12 years. So I got to see 3 different orders of nuns. And as far as I was concerned, they were all stressed out. They weren't having a good time. And I thought, I didn't want that. I wanted, there to be a joy behind it. So at 4, I knew that I was on a spiritual path, though I couldn't have told you that for sure. And then when I got to college, I stopped going to Mass, but I loved going to chapel and just sitting there. Like when I felt stressed out, I would just like duck into the chapel on my way home or on my way, somewhere, and just sit there for a few minutes and just breathe. Don't even think I prayed. I just breathed. And then when I switched colleges, I actually then got initiated into transcendental meditation. And I did that. And I really liked the fact that twice a day for 20 minutes, I just sat down and silently repeated this mantra that was supposed to be a secret, but we all shared which one we got, as soon as we got out. And we all had the same one. So we knew it wasn't really, it was only secret because they didn't want you to think you were common. But I loved the fact that I just sat and repeated this mantra. Didn't know what it meant, didn't matter. It really calmed me down. And then I did a lot of drugs, and then did Paramahansa Yogananda self-realization. And I loved all of these, but they didn't bring the body with them. So when I found Kundalini Yoga, it was like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for. Because I had also told my mother that I was going to be dead by the time I was 24. And had I kept on the path with the drugs that I did, I probably would have been. So Kundalini Yoga gave me that connection to the divine. Not only, we wanted to find God. That's why we did drugs. We wanted to find God. And I found out that God wasn't lost, and that it's the God in everything. It was just that, connection to everything. And I was just like, oh my God, who needs drugs when you can do this? The chanting, the breathing, the moving, and the fact that I got to bring my body with me. That's what sold me. It was like, my body got to come with me into that divine state that allowed me to be more kind and compassionate and truly connected to everything. So I was literally sold. And sold to the point that I, let my teacher tell me who to marry and send me to a foreign country to start a spiritual community there, with a man who turned out to be a violent narcissist. And I got two wonderful children that, I wouldn't trade in for anything. But was it easy to be living in a place where we had no money, no, I mean, we didn't sleep. We literally would go to sleep at like midnight and get up at 3. So I was existing on absolutely minuscule amounts of sleep, no money, running a community of 50 people, and married to a violent narcissist. So it was a very challenging situation. I did get a divorce, but only 15 years later, when I felt this door come down, just a steel door. I was in Espanola walking, and it was like, you're done. And I knew exactly what it meant I was done with, that I could actually then say, okay, I can bow and leave. When you have children, as you know, it's never over, but I got the permission from the divine to move away. And then being a single parent, those of you who have done that know that it's a whole new set of challenges. And my children had been in India, so away from me. And they were not necessarily that interested in listening to me. So trying to earn a living and take care of kids and teach yoga. And it was a lot. And then I went through a very, very deep heartbreak with someone that I thought I was be connected to forever and ever, and I still am, but not in the way that I thought. Because love really is love. That's it. And when you love somebody, it's a gift. And just because there's a movement away from doesn't mean you ever have to stop loving. You may not like things about them, but loving is a very different thing. So I've had a chance to learn a lot of lessons, but I will tell you what kept me sane during my marriage, what kept me sane during that heartbreak, what kept me sane during a few other things I'll share with you, is this practice, is all of the tools and techniques that I've collected along the way that have really kept me sane when it would have been so easy to just lose it and just go down a rabbit hole somewhere. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but my daughter, whom I was like shared a soul with for sure, we were very, very connected and maybe too integrated, and it was very challenging as she really tried to disconnect. And she had this amazing meditation with her father. that she came out of, and she said to him, and she didn't always share much of anything that happened with her father with me after we separated. But she shared this with me. She said, I came out of this meditation, and she said to him, can you imagine how different things would have been if you had loved my mother? And when she told me that, I cried, not because I wanted him to love me, but because I realized that she had broken a connection that had not allowed either one of us to have a very successful relationship with a man in our life. And within 2 weeks, my now husband showed up in my life, and her fiance, she got together with him 6 months later. So that was amazing and priceless, and just one of those fantastic gifts that meditations can give you, right? A month after I met, or maybe it was 2 months after I met my husband, we were going on our first trip, and I got a call from my adopted daughter telling me that she had cancer, and she left her body 4 months later. And 2 months after that, I found out that my daughter had cancer. And she stuck around a little longer. She was around for about 2.25 years after that. So in the first 6 years of my relationship with my husband, my adopted daughter, my father, my daughter, a dear friend of ours that we had just visited, his father and his nana all left this plane. And in the process of my daughter being sick, I also went through bankruptcy. So those are just a few of the things that I've been through this lifetime. And I can tell you that when my daughter was sick the last 2 months of her life, we did not go to that room in the morning until we meditated and did yoga. And when she would go into surgeries, or she would go into, some kind of analysis on something, we would go out in the courtyard and we would do a walking meditation, and we would breathe, and we would do some yoga, and we would look at the plants there and study the plants, and just, take in that energy of those plants, so that when we came back in the room, we could bring that love back with us. So my intent with this Empowered Energy Academy for you is that we can together create this community of consciousness and support each other's consciousness, so that we can all be truly, amazingly, energetically empowered, so that that's the energy that gets built up in the world, right? That's the intent. And that so it's a year-long course. This door, there's going to be several doors you can go through. You can join and get all of access to all of my programs, or you can just get access to the one that is like month by month. It's a year-long commitment, but you have a different topic every month that will go in. There'll be videos and audios and questions and sayings, and plus you'll have our group. We'll have 4 group calls a year on the solstice, or close to the solstice and close to the equinox together. And you'll get 20% off on any of my other programs that you might be interested in having support you. Now, this is the special. This price is special. This 20% off is special for founding members. So this is, if you choose to do this now, you will be one of the founding members. If you choose to do it later, the price is going to go up, and you're not going to get as much off of any other course that you want to do. It's when you're a founding member, I know this because I was a founding member of 3HO. So when you're a founding member, it takes a lot, because you're willing to be the foundation. You're willing to be like the beta testers. You're willing to be that which gets to hold things, so that you then get to hopefully be the holders for the next group that comes through, that you can, help them through their thing. Because, anytime I stopped calling myself a teacher a few years ago, and I say I'm an awakener, because we get to wake each other up. I get to wake you up, and in return, I get awoke. They say woke now, but we get awoken, right? By being that, because when you help somebody else do that which uplifts them, you reaffirm your own commitment because you're like, you can't tell people to do stuff if you're not doing it yourself, right? If I didn't sit in front of my altar in the morning, there would be no energy in this altar, right? Then why would I sit in front of it now? So this is really about altering our consciousness individually, one person at a time, in a community, and expanding it out from there into our lives so that that concentric circles, that energetics on the planet is more and more and more, that we are empowered from the essence and that we see into each other. We see each other. You know, we were told that if your presence isn't enough to change people, then nothing will. But how do you build that presence so that when people see you, they feel hopeful? You know, whether it's online or whether it's in person, which hopefully we get back to that too, right? I look forward to meeting you all in person as well. So that's the structure of this. You can go, you can look at it, you can join it today. It's open until midnight on Wednesday at this price, right? That is my daughter's birthday. So it's a day that I hold very sacred because she, who I got to give birth to, also showed me how to leave the planet as well. Her last request was that she wanted to be here as long as she was experiencing love and gratitude. What a mantra, right? So, and after she left, she told me, because I couldn't believe that, you know, somebody said, when did you know she was going to leave? And I said, when she didn't come back, you know. But she said, Mataji, it was just such a good job offer. I couldn't pass it up. And so I'm hoping that you understand that this is an offer from my essence into yours. And this is the time where you get to unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have about this, or you can share anything that, you know, you appreciated in this. I will say the other day that someone shared a very deep, dark secret. And because we are going to share this with anyone else who signed up for this, I ask you not to share deep, dark secrets with me. At this point, you can schedule a call with me for free and do that. But on here, I just want you to, you know, share anything that you've been inspired by recently. You can ask me any questions about how the Academy works, and just don't share those deep, dark secrets here. But use the other offerings to do that, should you choose to trust me with that. So please just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask any questions you have. Siri is now deciding that she needs to help out with this process. Okay. I can see. Yes.
Are you there?
I'm going to put you on so we can, yes, go ahead.
Hi, Satnam. This is Sat Guitar.
Hello, Sat. How are you?
Good. I'm loving hearing your story since I know you and I know what you've gone through. But there were a lot of bits and pieces that you added to it, and it makes it has more oomph to hear it like this. So, hey, I think I'm going to do it with you.
Okay, thank you.
Wednesday for sure. I need to
meditate
on it. I don't think anybody else.
Exactly, meditate on it. But I know that you will be an asset to the community as well, darling.
Well, you know, I didn't realize that you were one of the creators of 3HO. And I'm clicking inside my brain going, wow, that's big. That is huge. Because, you know, I know what it is, all 35 years in this. So, but, you know, my experience was that I had a bicycle accident and forgot who I had lost my consciousness. And I just told the head doctor, an Indian woman who, when I woke up, she's looking at me with a saffron sari And it was like 9 o'clock Saturday night, and I had been out since like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And she said, "What is your name?" Closed my eyes, and nothing was in the files on the left side where I hit my head. And it was the third time. Okay, so I just said, "I am the breath of life, breath of God." And I had no idea where that came from. It just blurted out. So it's within us, so much in our gut.
Yes, it's just how we get to feed things, right? That's the important thing. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else, just feel free to unmute yourself. Or I could just, yeah.
Hello.
Satnam, hello.
Hi there.
Hey,
I
sweet.
have a question. What's a great, just like quick and easy energy clearing exercise? Like you're having a bad day and you can't get your mind off of what's bothering you.
Yeah, I thank you for that and we're going to end this with a meditation too, a really short meditation. But I'll tell you, two of my really all-time favorite ones is one like we spend so much time. So I want you all to know that Randy is my wonderful. She's the person that's talking now. She's my web woman, and I adore her. She is priceless. So if anybody needs a fantastic web woman, I will connect you with her because she is the best. So just taking your hands and keeping them loose, but the fingers tight. So your fingers are acting as, you have Mercury, your communication, you have your Sun, your healing, you have your Saturn, which we call the swear finger, which is really your God finger, and your Jupiter, which is your wisdom finger, and your Mars. So you're gonna let all of those be kind of tight so they, but separated so they actually get energy. They can conduct that energy down, all those beautiful aspects. And your wrists loose so that all of those meridians that go through your hands can actually be stimulated, okay? And your arc line, which is, there's not a lot of exercises that can really shift your arc line, and your arc line is your halo. And we get holes in it with all sorts of different things, but one of those things is all of the stuff that goes in if you keep a phone or earbuds in your ears, right? It goes directly in. So this really helps the arc line, and it really helps to reconnect synaptic connections in your brain. And I don't want you to believe any of this. I just want you to actually see if you can experience it, because when we get afraid or we get something that just goes around our head and goes, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," this person said this to me and they did this, and we shame and blame, this will help reset so that you can actually see a better way out or a better way to commune, right? So let's just do this together for maybe a minute and just breathe and pay attention to your breath, but let it be so powerful that it shakes your whole body. I'm just going to inhale and exhale through the nose and just one really, really powerfully. I mean, I can do this. I've done this a million times before, and I love it every time. That's what's so amazing to me. Just look at your third eye and just allow this to shake and see if you can just connect this. I have to say, children love this one. So if you have children, even young children, and you just get them to do this when they're feeling upset about something. This and dragon breath, right? Two of the biggies. 10 more seconds. Really, really put everything into it. And inhale deeply and just hold your hands here and just feel like you can just take that energy in. Let it reset. As we grow in the womb, we are a big ear to start with. Let this really just recalibrate what you hear and hear the unheard. That anahat, that depth of sound. And exhale and just put your hands on your heart. So I was just saying the other day, I had a really, it was just a day where it seemed like, oh my God, if one more thing happened, I was going to come apart at the seams. It was like, and I just started sobbing. And my husband held me for a minute. And then afterwards, I was just like, he goes, shouldn't we do that thing that, you do with that breath thing, dragon breath. So he just started doing it and we did it together. And I was just like, yeah, that really does help. Okay. So we're going to do dragon breath. And then I want to do one. Let's do this one first. So this is called security mudra. You just wrap all those fingers, Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, your wisdom, around your Mars. So your Mars is activating it. And then you just take this and clear off the top of your head as quickly as you can. Again, shaking the body out is just one of those things where you can just stand there and just go, Kids love that too. And you can make sounds while you're doing it. Just let your jaws shake in that. That's a fantastic one. You can do it sitting, standing, lying down, doesn't matter, any position, and it works. It helps your nervous system because we take so much stress into our nervous system and we don't even know. And then on top of that, when we get stressed, what do? We eat sugar and stuff, and it takes the myelin sheath right off your nervous system, your nerve endings, and then we feel more stressed, and it just keeps going like that. So shaking is a fantastic one. And so let's get back to this one. And let's just do like 1 minute of this. And you want your arms to go back, 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 back. You're clearing off the top of your head so that energy can come down through your crown, right? So you can take that energy so that you can really feel like this 10th gate, this 1,000-petal lotus, that you can actually allow the divine to flow through you through that. That's why so many traditions have covered the top of their head, whether it's a yarmulke, yarmulkes are abbreviated turbans. I had a rabbi one time at Yom Kippur just make everybody in the congregation look at me. He said, that's what that turban on that woman, that's what we used to wear. He said, now we have an abbreviated version, but it's just to cover this beautiful 10th gate, right? So when you meditate, it's a great idea to just put a shawl or something over your head so that you just keep that energy in, that you get to keep it. Okay, so powerfully, just do this with O breath, just and inhale deeply. And exhale and just shake your hands out and then just put them over your heart for a moment. Okay, so dragon breath. I love this too. We're just going to do this for a few seconds, maybe 5 times. Okay, so when you're feeling overwhelmed, a really good thing to do is break breath. Doesn't matter if it's 2-part, 4-part, 8-part. When you start getting to 16, 22, that's too many, right? But just even like, because you can do that like, in almost anywhere, walking down the street, anywhere. You're upset about something in between offices, whatever. So, or now around our house, right? So dragon breath, you're going to inhale in 4 parts, all right? Usually when you're really upset and angry, it's hard to breathe through your nose, like very deeply. So try doing it through your mouth and see if you can start the breath like down by your pubic bone. So first section is way down by your pubic bone and then the next section by your navel, and then your diaphragm, and then chest, right? And see if you can expand out this way and not up this way, right? Okay, so let's try that once more. Exhale, and just, the exhale is really fun. You open your eyes really wide and you go, right? So, and inhale. And exhale. So I will tell you, kids love this. And if you can teach them to do that when they're upset about something and you just do it with them. It's also great when you're in the middle of a fight with your partner, do it with them. When you're feeling like really upset with yourself, just get in front of a mirror and do it. It's like so ridiculous looking. Nobody looks fabulous doing that, right? And it makes you laugh. Like you look at yourself and you go like, oh yeah, that's really, oh my godness. But it also helps your thyroid and parathyroid. When you stick your tongue out, and even if you stick it out really a lot, it activates the thymus, which is the gland that's right on top of your heart. That is a place that they used to think that by 11 or 12 it was closed down, but now they know that it still produces white blood cells. So what a good deal, right? Yes. So thank you for that question. Any other questions that people have that we can, play with each other? Okay, lost somebody.
I guess it's not a question, it's more of a curiosity, and maybe it is on your website and I didn't look deep enough, but you talk about the academy, and is it something where you just go in whenever you want to find a class that you like? And
That's a good question. Thank you. The academy is, you go in through this one program that's being offered right now, and every month there's different aspects that there's a theme for a month, and you get videos on that theme, and you get audio files, and you get sayings, and you get all sorts of things during the month on that theme to really build that, whether it's like how to be more fed, how to be more kind, how to be more, how to work with your anger. So each month has a theme, and you join for a year. It's a year commitment, and there's a Facebook group, and inside that Facebook group is where we will communicate with each other. There will be people in the Facebook group who are not part of the Energy Academy, but in talking, hopefully they will decide that it's something that they want to join, so that we can build this out so that it has a bigger reach. Or you can choose the pathway of choosing to purchase at a hugely discounted, I think Randy and I added it up, I have $8,000 worth of courses, online courses, and you can get everything for, I think it's $14.95. I think that's the price for all of my courses. So you can have access to all of my courses for a lifetime. So that choice is yours. It will never be $14.95 again. So if you feel like you really want access to all of my courses, that includes the Moon Center certification course, which is more than that just by itself.
Does it include your Zoom classes, your weekly Zoom classes?
It does not include my weekly Zoom class.
Okay.
That's separate. They're very reasonable. There's also another place that has all of my past Zoom classes and past summits and podcasts and radio shows and that I have done. That hasn't been included in the academy. I'm sure it will be at some point in time. So if you buy all of my programs, I'm sure that you will at some point. Randy can correct me if that's not true, but I think that we can include that if you purchase everything all at once.
Thank you. That was fabulous. I love the breathing. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too. It's makes such a difference to just take breath breaks during the day. To just, we can keep a chant going in our head. That's what your Pran Sutra really is that it's that saying that gives you energy that you just say over and over again until it plays you. But your breath, we sometimes, as the day goes on, we just, get like, we're like, so it's just so fantastic to just take breath breaks. Plan them. Anyone else? No other questions, comments? Okay. All right, so let's just end with a short meditation. We're sitting here in blessed equinox, right? So I just bless you and hope that, you'll continue, more meditation today, because this is that time. And I don't look at equinoxes as one day. It's a period of time, at least the 20th, 21st, 22nd, right? And I include the 23rd because that's my daughter's birthday. So let's just do Rama Aum together. Rama, the sun and the moon, because this time of the year is all about harmony. We say it's balanced because it's, 12 hours of dark, 12 hours of light. The sun and moon are in balance. So you want to call on those, right? And then Om, Aum, and Om are all said to be the frequency of the divine. Not saying, God's name like Rama or, Satanam or Waheguru or Amen or Hallelujah or Yahweh, but that it's actually the frequency of the divine. So Aum is almost like you're swallowing. This to me is like the cotton candy meditation of the universe, because you drop it down. So it's Rama. Just feel like you're swallowing that sound into you, like it's the universe, right? And you're going to take this mudra, which is called a wedding mudra, and then you're going to actually take the rest of the fingers, link them in, so you have like bear grip, except that you're doing wedding mudra. Okay, so bear grip, where you grip your fingers, then free your first finger and touch it to your thumbs. Okay, can you see that? Right? If you can't get it, don't worry about it. And just hold it in front of your heart. We're just doing this because bear grip is for when you feel like you can't bear something. But when you make this twist in it, it just opens the heart. So take a deep breath. Inhale deeply. Inhale more. Get just greedy for this kiss of the divine. And exhale and just shake your hands. And just to know that even doing a meditation for a couple of minutes can bring you back to you. Thank you so much for showing up. This is going to be sent out to everyone who's on the email list. So if you know other people that you want to see this, have them sign up on the email list, or just encourage them to join the Academy with you. It's really inexpensive. It's really there to serve you. It's really there for us to serve the world by becoming more empowered in our energetic state. Love you. Bless you. Wait.